You guessed it, folks. Another quarantine weekend day equates to another video. I've got time on my hands. So I did the dies, the restoration of the rusty 223 dies over the weekend as well, yesterday rather. And I used this 5x7, 7x28 rather, FN Lee trim, quick trim die as an example of finish so that I could restore the rusty dies to a similar luster or finish as the Lee. And I got to remember not to get stuff too close because this camera is so sucky at anything close up. And I've been a fan of the Lee quick trim for many years. I've really enjoyed Lee's economical, frugal, basic tools for a long time. So years ago I adopted the quick trim and I used it for 223, 308, 30-06 and 300 blackout. So I have those mounted in my press, and you know, obviously for a tall die, not a problem. Less tall die, not a problem. Shorter die, technically not a problem. And shortest die, not a problem in this configuration. But if I were to have, say, I don't know, some type of configuration that didn't allow me to rotate with the handle, and I don't have issues using manual, but anytime you can add power to the equation, and I picked this up specifically an El Cheapo little lightweight, I wouldn't even call it a drill, I think it's called a screwdriver, because a drill would have a little too much torque. But what I thought I would do, again, since I have some time on my hands, is to go ahead and take these 5x7 by 28 resized. I've already resized and decapped. And what I thought I would do is use the quick trim, because I've done the CTS trimmer, I've done the Frankfurt Arsenal trimmer, and I thought, well, since I have all the components, and I picked this up for like $11 on eBay, not a popular item on eBay, I thought I would give that a try. So if you recall, I think normal resize for me should be right around 1.13. All right, let's do a take two. So just as I was starting to talk about measurements, my memory card, or the camera beeped at me because my memory card was full. So if memory serves, I was babbling about the standard length of a resized piece of brass, which a good, is this good? No, I can't remember where I put my good one. I believe this one's too short. Yeah, not too short. So 1.131, this would be acceptable. So these are my 2, 4, 7 resized, resized, decapped. So I'm coming in at 1.142-ish on this one. 1.145, 1.150, 1.142, 1.145, 1.141. So needless to say, they're all much larger, 1.140, than the 1.13353433. So what I'm going to do now is, and I'll probably set the camera up on the other side of the bench, is I'm going to take my turret, the new 5.7 by 28 trim, quick trim die. I'm going to seat it into so it touches the shell plate, I always put this in anyway, and we'll put this cap for brass shavings, and then we'll do the adjustments to both of these, one with the drill and one by hand, so that it does, again, what I showed with my previous quick trim. So I will set the bench, or rather I will set the camera up on the other side of the bench and be back here in a second. All right, so as it turns out, this is probably the best view of the bench. I was thinking about the other side. It's too cramped. I've got too much garbage over there. So let me drop the primer arm in, and that I will dance around the tripod, hopefully not hit it. Pop this in place. We're there, raise that. I think I'm pretty close. All right, that is touching. Tighten this down. All right, we should be in business now. We'll pop the tray, my clippings tray on here. I've heard people say good things and bad things about that. We'll probably start with the manual. We'll move these over a little bit and bring this closer to the work area. All right, so we'll start with this first piece of brass. And this first piece is 1.14. Let's go 1.14. We'll pop that in, ram all the way. You can see the brass sticking up. Let me come off Hopefully you can see that brass in there. Let me get a little more light. And that is ready to trim. It's sticking up. Put this back on the tripod. And I just hit the camera, and I just realized the light behind me wasn't on, so hopefully, let me readjust a little bit. Hopefully that won't be a problem. All right, so I have set this, what I hope to be, all the way clockwise, which should be at, I'm gonna hope it's a 0 setting, and I'm not feeling or hearing any brass, and I'm not seeing any brass. So let me counterclockwise adjust. 1, 2, 3 clicks. And I can't remember what the clicks stood for, what thousandths of an inch. I don't know if each click is 1/10,000th or 1/1000. Yeah. 1,000ths, 10,000, 100,000. Don't know. And I'm obviously overdoing it, and I don't see anything there, so I'm going to do another 2 clicks. So now I'm at 5. I'm not seeing any clicks. 6. Ah, okay. So let's start all over, because I'm an idiot. I forgot to remove this brass, or excuse me, this knurled ring. That will make all the difference in the world. All right, we're going to start from scratch. Paying too much attention to the camera and not what I'm doing. All right, so again. All right, I didn't really feel anything. I can see that it touched it because it's shinier. And we were at 1.140. Wow, okay, wow. We were at now we're at 1.135. Okay, so let's go one more click. I'm seeing a little bit of brass shaving there. And the reason I put the primer arm in there is because I actually like the brass to be held in place. All right, so in my opinion, that's too much. too much. So we're going to go back out. Go 1, 2. All right, I'm all the way clockwise. Actually, let me make sure I had that right. So, because I have not read the directions in a long ass time. So I believe all the way counterclockwise is out and all the way clockwise is in. So we're going to go all the way clockwise. .146. .146 all the way clockwise is now 1.138-ish. So that would mean we would go counterclockwise. That was one click as my hands get yuckier. Grab a towel here. Rams all the way down. I can hear something happening. All right, 1.133. We're going to call that good. 1.148. And the beauty of this device is I'm trimming, chamfering, and deburring all in one in a couple seconds. Whereas before, you saw previously, I'm doing either the CTS cutter, .138 CTS cutter, or the Frankfurt Arsenal. I'm not sure if that was all the way in. We'll find out here in a second. 1.132. Let me turn these over so I know which ones I've done. And we'll do one more. 1.142. .136.5-ish. .13. So I'm not liking how, my pressure is making that much of a difference. So I'm gonna tail that back out a little. You can see the shavings. So again, the benefit of doing this is one stop. So I have no doubt that won't show up very well, but that is a beautiful inside and outside cut, and within spec. And I don't think we did that one, but let me double check. Yeah, it looks like we did. Yep, we did. All right, for the other three, we're going to go to the electric version. So again, for giggles, I'm going to take this with a rag, and I'm going to see about going all the way counterclockwise, starting from the most counterclockwise position, and see what that does. So that I have my 1.142. Yeah, that I can tell that's got some grippy going. All right. And these are old. I don't want to say they're falling apart, but They're getting old. All right, so that was all the way counterclockwise. Okay, so then I was wrong. So all the way counterclockwise. How could it grow? All the way counterclockwise was the longest. So let's prove that with this. So we're going to take this, we're going to go all the way counterclockwise. We're going to remeasure that. 1.148. .142. So now we'll go clockwise. 1, 2. So by me doing it all the way clockwise would probably explain why we're getting 1.130s. 1.142 still. So we'll do clockwise 2 more. I feel like I'm adjusting a scope. But it is nice and quiet until the drill comes out. Oh, there we go. 1.134. Oh, that's perfect. 1.134. Yeah. All right. So that was about 4 clicks. So let's try this one. Let me cover my hand there. It's getting all yucky. I think it's time to get some new plastic here. All right, so all the way counterclockwise. And naturally. All right. Now it's all the way counterclockwise. Let's do 4 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's start fresh. And we're stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's 4. Let's see what this comes in at. 1.141. How does it grow? I'm going to guess maybe the collet in there. I don't know. So that was 2. And in all honesty, I think I like the way the 1.136. In all honesty, it feels like the manual one does a little nicer job, and that's probably because this one is a little torn up. So let's go 1 more click clockwise. All right, 1.134-ish. I would say that's, we'll call that a done. And last one, 1.141. So the only reason I'm showing the difference between the two is, I don't know, maybe if I had to do hundreds of these, I'd prefer the electric screwdriver. if I'm only doing a handful of these, 1.137, 1.13, yeah, just under 1.137. So that's within spec, 1.137. But let's pull this. And I think my new fave for 5x7 or 5.7x28 is going to be a manual process. So I'm not going to shoot a lot of this. Yeah, 1.135 and some low change. So I think this is the route to go. So instead of doing the Frankfurt Arsenal trim or the CTS trim, going this path allows me to do, yeah, 1.135. This is a keeper. So I'm going to say that this with the QT die is a winner. So this I already had because of all my other QT dies. The only thing I didn't have was this die, and that was $11.99. So for $12, I can now trim very quickly and easily 5.7x28 and chamfer and debur all in one step on my LCT, whereas what you saw me do before in different videos is use the CTS to cut it, trim it, and then individual chamfer and debur, both on the drill, whole lot of effort. I would say for high volume rounds, that's the way to go. This is not going to be a high volume shot round. This would be very low volume. So once again, Lee comes to the rescue with a very inexpensive solution. Now, obviously, if you had to buy the die plus the QT, you're looking at a little more money. I think the cutters is like $10. Actually, I'm not going to speak on price. It's been many, many years since I bought this. So I'm going to say that that's the way to go for me on 5.7x28 for trim, chamfer, and debur all in one step. More to come.